All right, welcome to the Live MMA show. It's the day after UFC Fight Night in London. We're here to talk about Puja Tomar taking on Shauna Bannon. This was a frustratingly painful fight to watch. Like all of us, rooting for Puja Tomar. And imagine, woman from India making it big in the UFC, winning. She's actually won a fight. So this would have been a win streak for her in the UFC. But sadly, it did not happen. For various reasons, you could clearly see that she had hands. She's been training her boxing. Her boxing has always been very, very good. She was a little flummoxed by the ridiculous women's MMA sidekick nonsense. I thought Puja should have gotten her out a little early. But anyway, she kept getting tagged to the body with that kick. And she looked like she was having trouble dealing with it. Her hands looked very good. She looked like she had been training her boxing, and her boxing looked very, very good. Kept on catching her at the end of her punches and was doing a really, really good job at the end of the day. But as it is with mixed martial arts, like you start out almost in a highlight and then end up as somebody else's highlight. And this is exactly what happened in the second round. Puja launched a vicious, brutal head kick that just blasted Shauna in the face. This is shin to chin, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman style head kick, Crow Cop style head kick. Nasty, right from the southpaw stance. Like, this girl did not even see it coming. Blasted her. Like, Shauna Bannon was done. Like, she was like singing to the leprechauns and, and all of that kind of, like, found gold at the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow and all that stuff. Like, it was done for her. But Puja rushed in, landed two more shots, kind of woke her back up, just like Brian Ortega taking on Diego Lopez. Flash knockouts, right? Like, so you call them. If Puja had just raised her hands, I think it would have been a walk-off KO. She would have gotten a beautiful highlight reel, but just the fight IQ is not there as yet. Then she rushed into a guard and was caught in the most basic ass day one white belt jiu-jitsu armbar from guard. Like, I'm sitting there, I'm watching Shauna Bannon set up the armbar. I'm like, the armbar's coming. 30 seconds later, the armbar's coming. 45 seconds later, the armbar's coming. Like, it took such a long time for her to set it up. And Puja basically put herself in that position. She ended up in half guard, got a couple of punches in, and then Shauna immediately put her back in guard. She didn't have a clue what to do there. And you could slowly see Shauna like inching her legs up to eventually switch for the armbar. Right, and when she finally switched for the armbar, even then, this girl is concussed. She's been kicked to the face. I don't know how you get caught in that. She was 99% free. Right? What happens in an armbar? An armbar is basically when the elbow joint is in between the person's hips and they hyperextend and snaps it off. At this point, what Shauna had on Puja was just her wrist. So she was in no danger of being submitted. And then she rolled into the armbar.
She may have just put herself deeper into that armbar.
It was the most oblivious thing you could have done then. And it's not like this, like, it's not like, my only reason why I'm so hard on her is because this is not the first time this has happened. It's happened in her career many times. I think Hannah Kampf caught her in an armbar. Stam Fairtex caught an armbar. So you should know like how to defend an armbar. This girl was rocked. Like, the fight was done. It was literally won. And snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. It's a painful realization for some of us that Puja is not there yet. The competition is only going to get tougher from here on out. They're not going to be easy fights from here on out. I think it's very clear, right? Like, the division is not going to keep waiting for you now. So who does she get next? Sure, she'll get another 2 fights in the UFC, maybe even 3 fights in the UFC, since she's already got a win under her belt, which is an important milestone in Indian mixed martial arts. And she should be celebrated as such, but she should also be admonished for not having that fight IQ to defend a basic armbar from guard while the girl was rocked. Right, so it's not like she was like Mackenzie Dern switching from the back, or any of these girls like Helena Cravar like switching armbars from the back. She was rocked. She was like gone, astral traveling, man. And she still managed to pull off an armbar, a slow and methodical armbar, but an armbar nonetheless. Made Puja tap out in the middle of the second round. Very disappointing loss, and she only has herself to blame for this. She did not work. Like, this girl's supposed to be a credentialed BJJ black belt, right? How are you not training these skills? These are exactly the skills you need to be training to go up against competition like this. If you're not training these skills, you are going to get caught out by girls who are like even purple and blue belts later in the UFC, and it's going to happen at some point. Coach Mike seems to have a good relationship with her, and I understand that there's a coach and pupil kind of thing, but like he needs to learn the ground game. It's as simple as that, and drill this shit in. In my opinion, her striking is not bad. It's already there. She's got good hands, winging punches, got power. All of that is very good. She needs to learn the ground game. I would say, like, maybe come back to cross train and train at cross train and get proficient at defending these basic ass submissions. Go to Warriors Cove. There are places that will specifically teach you how to handle these kinds of jiu-jitsu based problems. Because her striking is not the problem, clearly. Her takedown defense is not the problem, clearly. It's her submission defense that's the glaring hole in her entire game. If she just shot that up, it will definitely give her a leg up on the competition just going into the future. It's, again, very disappointing coming from, at the standpoint of the growth of Indian MMA. But again, like Anshul, she's got a couple of more fights in the UFC. The UFC want to build a fan base here, because even if they get our numbers are crazy, right? Like, so even if they get a small percentage, the numbers are so big that it makes sense to them. Like, it looks good in their investor reports, etc., etc. Where's Jim Parsons when you need him, man? Like, that fight could have been called, right? Like, as soon as she got... Not really, man, because Puja also, like, rushed. And if she had just stood back up and raised the hands, I think the fight could have been called there. A lot of fans are also talking about the reffing inconsistencies. These things are from ref to ref to ref. There's nothing much we can do about it, because, again, at the end of the day, the ref is still a human being. It's not a machine, right? He can't make like these. Everything is a call on his part and his vision and what he sees happening, right? He saw that Shauna was still in it and let her fight on. Jim Parsons saw that Anshul wasn't in it and let him, and stop the fight there. So, different strokes for different folks. You can't blame the referees in this situation. Because if she had actually was smart enough, then she wouldn't have been caught in an armbar, right? Like, that's the whole point of it all. But she still managed to get herself caught in the armbar. Devastating loss for Indian MMA. Devastating loss for Puja Tomar. I hope she shows up a submission defense, because it's the only thing that's lacking in her game. The women's side of mixed martial arts is anyway so low level, right? Like, so there are very few things you need to work on to get better at winning fights in the UFC. And the competition will only get tougher from here on out. So again, my heart goes out to Puja Tomar. She did a really, really good job. I mean, beautiful kick, beautiful head kick. But ultimately, she lost the fight by armbar in the second round. And going forward, I can only shudder to think what the state of Indian MMA look like in the next 2-3 years. But anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, guys, live MMA now.
Subscribe to Live MMA and click the bell icon to be notified whenever we post new videos.